What's up, Jags? Miss Butler here. Today we are going to do 2-point perspective. So we're going to experiment. We're going to do a 2-point perspective drawing with 2 vanishing points, and we're going to just do it in street level street level view. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to set my vanishing points. So let's go ahead and make one over here and one over here. Where I'm here, I'm going to set my horizon line. So I've got 2 dots, 2 vanishing points on the horizon line. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some roads. So I'm going to have one road coming from over here. Remember, this is kind of like my diagonals, my auxiliary lines. I'm going to have one road coming from that vanishing point, like so, and then I'm going to draw a couple other little roads coming from the other vanishing point. And I'm going to kind of hold my ruler again away from what I'm doing so I can see the angle that I'm going to draw. It doesn't have to be totally perfect, but that kind of gets me started. I've got my 2 roads. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box that is going to become a building. So my box is going to kind of be like right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another little line right there, and I'm going to start making the top of my building. So this little line that I just drew is going to be the bottom of my building, and I'm going to go ahead and make one line going up, and that is going to be the side of my building. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw the other little diagonal that's going to go to the other vanishing point, and that is going to be where the other side of my building is going. So I'm going kind of quick on this one, but I'm going to start making buildings that line up to my vanishing point. So I've got one. I'm going to erase right here, and let's give him an edge. So let's I'm going to take the top. I'm going to, as you can see, I did that fast. I'm going to point that toward that vanishing point, and then over here, since that building's right in the middle, I'm going to point that toward the other vanishing point, if you can see that. So I just did one building real quick using my diagonals, and I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to draw a couple more lines real quick. We're going to add in some more buildings. And when you take the top of the building, you can always angle it toward the vanishing point. So there's kind of the side of another building. I'm going to kind of keep going. You can make your buildings smaller. So that's what I'm going to do. And you can really experiment with the tops of your buildings. They don't necessarily have to go to the vanishing point, but it does help if you kind of think about it a little bit, like even if you sketch. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of this in. And even if you look, if this was the front of another building, the edge of it, this little edge, if you really want to be precise, would go behind the vanishing point right there. So what you could do is you can do a little shading and start to fill all those in. Again, this building over here will line up to the edge of the opposite vanishing point. So you can see right there, I just did it. So that is how you kind of get things going with a simple 2-point perspective drawing with buildings. And they start off as boxes, and they are going to end up being buildings. So, and you can definitely experiment with the roofs and the different sizes. It's like I might put one more in here. And using that opposite vanishing point to kind of line him up. So I'm going to erase my edges. And then you can kind of start to shade. If I wanted to pretend maybe that the light source, there was a light source coming from both sides, I could do that definitely. I'm going to add another little edge of that building right there actually. And you could definitely add different things in there. You could add, you could make a roof. Or better yet, let's see, let's leave this middle one alone. Make a roof on this guy. And again, everything is lining up to the vanishing point. Maybe there's a little bit of a chimney on that one. You can also take your vanishing point and create windows. So if I wanted to line up some windows, I would do the same thing. I would take this vanishing point, and I'm going to hold the edge of the ruler away from what I'm doing. It definitely is easier if you have a clear ruler, but you don't have to necessarily have a clear ruler. You just have to think about holding the ruler away from what you're doing. And again, I'm lining up my windows with the vanishing point. And you can see it looks pretty good. So you want to go ahead and repeat that on the other side. I'm going to line it up with the other side of the vanishing point. And depending on where you set your vanishing points, it'll look totally different. So because this vanishing point was a little bit closer, it's a little bit different of an angle, but you can see it really does make sense. So I'm going to work on this a little bit more and speed things up, and we'll see what we get by the end of this video.